Hi everyone, welcome to the channel Learn and Heal. Today we are coming with the lecture of role of teachers in managing students with learning disabilities. This is the last lecture of the chapter Understanding the Learning Disabilities. With this lecture, we are finishing this particular chapter. Teachers who are teaching or taking care of the class should be having a minimum knowledge about who all are having the learning disabilities and what are the learning disabilities of these kids. Then only they can improve the learning of a particular individual who is having this learning disability. Teachers should be very sympathetic or kind towards that kind of children with these disabilities. Teachers are the one who should be understanding the needs of these kids, and they should support the student and make them participate in all kind of activities like curricular or co-curricular activities, because teacher is having the moral responsibility to take care of his or her student. Whatever the disability or ability that this particular kid is having, you are having a moral responsibility to take care of your child. So we are going to discuss about different methods we can able to follow for the learning of this disabled students. The first one is mastery model. Let the student get enough time to study, no matter how much time he is consuming. Just look at how much he learned through these hours. Allow him what is the time he needed, give him that particular amount of time to master in that area where he is lagging, and let him do more and more problems, more and more practice, so that they can come into the level of the normal students studying with them. Just remember, this will not be working in a lower classes, this will be working for a higher class students. Learners work at their own level of mastery, and as I told you, it is good for adult learners. Then the next method is direct instruction. A quick and active teacher participation is needed for this direct instruction. Carefully plan lessons for small learning increments of the students. So make him develop his ability slowly by appreciating and motivating the student for small works. So you should not be giving a large or big work so that the student cannot be able to complete that, but small work, just give him and appreciate him when he is successfully completing that task. The teacher should be having a scripted lesson plan for these kids, and they should correct the mistakes immediately. If there is a direct interaction between the teacher and student, then teacher can immediately correct the mistake of the child. Frequent progress assessment is not needed. It is not like that after the whole syllabus completed you have to assess. No, frequent assessment is needed for the progress of that kind of kids. Now we are talking about the what are the adjustments we can do in the classrooms. Of course, a special seating arrangement should be done in that particular classroom where you are making the disabled student to occupy there. So that kind of modification is needed for the classroom. Of course, the test procedures that should be modified, so in a such a way that you can make different question papers for the bright students as well as these people who are having not that much capacity or they are affected by some learning disabilities. So if these people are affected by learning disabilities and you are giving them a tough question paper, they are getting demotivated. So you have to modify in such a way that the question paper should suit the bright kid, also the kid who is having the learning disability. So that kind of adjustments can be done. And the special equipments, spell checkers can be used, dictionaries, text to speech or speech to text programs, book on tape. Teacher can record the books on the tape so that the student can revise the topics again and again without giving any trouble to the teacher. So the workload of the teacher also will be reduced, and it will be more convenient for the student if he is having doubts he can able to hear, and computer based activities can be done. Then classroom assistance, because if people are handicapped, definitely they will be in need of assistance like the note takers, readers, proofreaders, as well as scribes. That we can say that for writing the examination they will be in need of one assistant to write the examination or read the question paper. So these are the classroom assistants you can give to this particular kinds of students who is having the disability. Then special education. Special education is not a part of inclusive education, it is a separate part, because these people should be having a prescribed hours in a resource room, a separate room. Individual education plan should be given, because the student who is having different disability should be treated differently. That is what the educational therapy is telling you. One method should be followed for a person with a dyslexia, but for a person with dyspraxia you have to go with another methodology for teaching. Enrollment in special schools for learning disabled students. So in this particular special education area they are telling that okay, this student with this kind of disability should be enrolled in special schools so that they will be getting more attention. That is what the idea this special education is putting forward. Then in a nutshell we'll be seeing actually what is the role of teacher in managing the students with disabilities point by point. The first point is break learning task into small step. If just imagine if the chapter is big or the topic is big, what you have to do is you have to divide that into small parts and you can teach, so that student can able to grab it very easily, so that the checking, regular checking also becomes easily, and you should regularly keep on checking whether the student is understanding what all the small things what we are teaching. If the student is not understanding, we have to change the method of teaching, so that you have to regularly check whether the student is understanding it or not, and provide regular quality feedback. You can able to understand after teaching a couple of times to a particular batches of student, you can able to understand in what way they are lagging or what is the problem with each and every child. So you can give a regular quality feedback by analyzing all these students. So do proper analysis about the performance of the student and give useful feedback to them. Then you can present information visually and verbally to make the class attractive. You can use the diagram, graphics and pictures to support your interaction or instruction. You have to provide independent practice to them, because teacher should not solve all the questions in the class. First you explain one method, you explain that on the board, then allow the student to do that by themselves, then only their ability will grow. So teacher should be having a patience to wait for the student to solve all the questions. That is very important. Then the other one is what are the strategies to follow. If you are going to play a game, definitely the strategy should be followed. So teacher should provide strategies to use and just remind them when you have to use this particular strategies. What are the strategies needed to master in particular event or activity, that should be properly given by the teacher. Use graphic organizers to support the understanding of relationship between ideas. You can use the multimedia helps and all. Use adaptive equipments if appropriate. I told you, if needed you can make the books on tape. You can use the laptop computers and all to give them a visual information, so that they can learn it through their eyes and ears as well, so that will be more effective in some kind of chapters. You have to give information, all the information in a much clarity, so that you have to give clear photocopies of your notes. You should provide a detailed course outline before the class begins. So what is the point of studying all this subject and all these chapters, you have to give the outline of the chapter or outline of the subject. You should make them understand what is the practical application by learning all these things. So you have to make them realize the importance of this course and the chapter as well as the subject. Then keep oral instructions logical and concise and reinforce them with brief keywords, because if you are giving instructions to the kids, make it somewhat logical and don't go in a lengthy way. Make it concise and brief and simple so that the student can easily understand what you are telling. And you have to repeat or reword complicated directions, because you know already you are a student and you are a teacher too, so sometimes some portions you will not be able to get that properly, the idea of the content. So you have to again rewrite, reread. So the same thing you have to do with the kids. If a difficult topic is there, you have to repeatedly teach them again and again till they understand the chapter and the meaning of the content. Then you can give assignments both in written and oral form. You have to make them practice a lot. So you can give a lot of practice exercise available in the lessons in case student is facing a problem. If all the students are understanding this concept very well, but few of them is lagging in that, if you identify them, give them more and more practices so that they can learn that in a better way. And have students underline keywords or directions on activity sheets. Usually these teachers will be doing all the important notes. Teacher will be asking the student to underline so that they can notice it easily. But the next thing what teacher should do is not only telling them, teacher should visit them, review what they have done in their sheets. That is also very important. Then they should provide and teach memory strategies such as mnemonics and all. So how to memorize all these things? Some mnemonics will be there. Teacher, when a lot of things are there, then teacher will be creating some interesting mnemonics so that student will not be forgetting that forever. So that kind of interesting techniques you can provide to teach them. Clearly label equipments, tools and materials. Yes, if you are having some chemicals you are going to use, just label it. Oh, this is the chemical. Label all the things whatever you are using in the classroom so that student can able to get their point. Provide a peer tutor or assign the student to a study group. Even though you are a teacher, maybe some students will be a better teacher than ours. So let them choose the student teacher as well. So make a team, and you will be getting the idea through the seminars which is a better student who can able to teach the other friends. Use mnemonic devices to teach steps of math concept, so that math concept is gonna be easy for the kids. So these are the role of teachers. So with this we have finished the chapter understanding the learning disability. We'll be coming with another chapter the next day. So thank you for watching.